Okay, I'm going to do a lesson on Neptune. I'm going to show you my own Neptune and explain a little bit about how the chart works with regard to, let's take one planet, and I'm going to take Neptune because I've got a major transit going on. And what I would like to do also is then show you the chart of today, because we got some upcoming stuff coming. On the 3rd, 3rd of August, we've got a full moon in Aquarius. And I think that it's really important to understand what astrology is. It's a tool so that we understand how we're working with our inner being, like the soul. It's a soul journey. And it's not so much about predicting events. People can use it for that. But ultimately, we're here to evolve, our past life imprints, if we believe in past lives. In evolutionary astrology, we take past lives into account. And then we have our early imprints from childhood, which also can hold trauma for many of us, or memories that we're holding on to. And this makes life quite difficult for us to shake some of the hard stuff off. But as we get to know our chart, then we can see how, the journey is for us and our way forward, sort of like, through the fog, so to speak. It's a bit like a map. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you, this is my chart, and it's the chart of 1st of August 2020. I was born on 21st of May 1966. I also read charts, so if you got your birth time, or if you're struggling and you've got an idea of when your birth time is, I may be able to help you to evaluate your chart and figure that out. But I've got an offer on until the end of the August, so do check out below my details, and please subscribe if you haven't. If this is up on YouTube, then please subscribe, because I'm going to share this on my Facebook page as well. What I've got, Neptune takes 184 years to go around the chart, and if you can see currently, we've got the R there. You can see where my pointer is. The R, it denotes retrograde, and the Neptune, currently my Neptune is on my IC, and that's the deepest part of the chart. And that's not the only thing my Neptune's doing, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of a reading of what that means, and then I'm going to jump forward and show you how long that Neptune's going to take to move through my 4th house. And the 4th house is the deepest part of the chart, and the definition of Neptune on the IC, if you have this placement at birth, I have my Neptune 20 degrees of Scorpio in my 12th house, and it's opposing my sun, my natal sun. It's opposing my North Node, it's opposing my Mars, and it's opposing my Mercury. So that's all defined and what that means as well, the definition of that. And also my South Node is conjunct my Neptune on my ascendant. You can see that I'm 27 degrees. So my South Node is 25 degrees. So that's conjunct, and then they both conjunct my ascendant of Scorpio. So right, so let's look at this Neptune down here. And I've got a few things going on with it, but I'll give you 2 of those things today. So Neptune on the IC. So for me, that's exact, actually going to be exact on the 2nd of August. And the next time it's going to be exact, because it's going to go retrograde now. I'll show you when we push this chart forward. You'll see, because I'm using solar fire, you'll be able to see this chart move. And the next time it will be exact, it will be the 8th of March 2021. But it is conjunct my IC, and it's going to go backwards and forwards. It's going to go back retrograde now to, I think, about 18 degrees, and then it will go forward again. So this denotes, this is what it means. It's about changes within my home and family are likely now. These are not likely to be sudden or obvious changes, but rather subtle ones. And the mood in my home can be different. Perhaps, I might have somebody that's coming to stay with me, or, it can be to do with members of the household. And, on the other hand, it can be changes in my household triggering thoughts of me leaving, where I'm currently living, for instance. Whatever my scenario is, with this placement, is that I do not feel that I have a firm foundation in my life right now. And this is somewhat true, because I you know, on the move and not really basically wanting to be in the UK anymore. I think as I go through my life, I've lived most of my life here, and I had other plans for myself, and I do have other plans for myself, and I do want to live near water, which is one thing with that Neptune moving through the 4th house, because Neptune is to do with water. It's about being near water, and it's also to do with realms and the unseen and the unknown as well. So at the moment, it says that I could feel rather confused at lost because of this, because of domestic stuff, and it could affect my confidence if, you know, I feel it's too difficult and that it's not functioning for me, the home that I'm living in, for instance. It could also be that I lack the motivation to pursue my professional duties, which I feel quite good at the moment because my Mars is moving through my 5th house for the next 6 months. So I'm into a lot of creativity at the moment. So I'm quite happy with my future in my professional duties. There can be a lack of vitality, and this can be to do, also there could be some health issues, but that could be to do with family members. This is a time when I need to go with the flow. And it's, you know, when I don't set any expectations, and it's quite interesting where we're at the moment with COVID and whatever's going on in the world. Like, none of us can really have any expectations at this time, really. And it's about following my intuition as much as possible. And it's where, if I do need to move home and, you know, or change my current work situation also, and I really just, all I have to do right now is not be rigid and remain really, really flexible. And also, this is a good time to sit back and enjoy this period by spending more time relaxing at home. And I may not be moving forward materialistically, but I'd likely be discovering a lot about who I am and, you know, what my truth is for myself, or, you know, my inward spirituality. And, you know, at this point, it's not about impressing other people for me. It's about my inner world and my inner home. Also, I could also want to, you know, not feel that I want to surge ahead right at this time with any career, and just do what I'm doing and enjoy the slower pace. It's about enjoying the slower pace. It's also to do with the music and the arts. So I could also, you know, maybe at this time look at my artistic talent, or inherit a musical or artistic talent. And, you know, I do have, you know, I've got a lot of things where I'm creative personally. Also, I might want to look at my family history right now and look at my past, which actually happened a few weeks ago. I decided to look into something from my past history to check something out and uncover a few mysteries. And this is partly to do with my childhood. I want to, you know, get some information on something. And it may be a time when I want to downsize or move to the countryside, or to move near the ocean or a river. And I've a strong need for water right now, to be near water. And I'm in London, so I'm not near water at all at the moment. My new environment will provide me with a much needed sense of renewal, a feeling of a load of, you know, not too heavy. It's going to be lighter for me. And I might feel a little bit sad at first, like moving on from something, but then I will, you know, that will pick up speed and I will be good again. This is about proceeding the moment to moment and paying attention to my needs and making changes that I need to make. And the last thing it says, you know, it's a time to reflect on my life and how to restore the balance in the long term for myself. So this is what's interesting for me. So you can see here, this Neptune, this is also trining my natal Neptune, which is beautiful because this is really helping me out here. This is a really good thing for me. This is not the only thing that Neptune's doing in my chart. It's also opposing my MC. And if we take this chart forward by weeks, I want you to note that R there, which is the retrograde. And I want you to see this. So you're going to see 20, watch that there. You're going to see it go back. It's going to go back. It's in Pisces, then in my 3rd house briefly, and it's going to go back to 18 degrees. You can see that happening. The planets are spinning around, but Neptune is on, then it's going forward again. And then it's at 20 degrees, so then it's no longer retrograde, and it's going forward, and then it's just going to keep going, and then it will do a retrograde again. So 22, And if we keep going to next year, 2021, and then it goes retrograde again, and then it goes over my IC again. So you can see it's going back. So I've got some time of this. So, you know, this takes some planning and understanding of what's going on here. But the beautiful thing about that is always going to be trining for the next year and a half, 2 years. It's going to be trining my natal Neptune, which gives me a sense of spirituality and compassion for the mankind. And that's not the only thing that does as well. There's a lot more to it. So now what I'm going to do is stop share, and I'm going to now share this screen. And what I want to do is bring up today's transits, and I want to then, let's have a look here. Right, let's bring up today's transits, and then I'm going to emanate. Now I might need to come out of this for a minute, stop share, and then go back in. And then I'm going to share screen again and to the emanated page of the 1st of August 2020. So this is the chart of right now. And let me grab my spotlight here. Right. Okay, so what's going on at the moment is that we've got a full moon coming up in the 3rd of August, a few days' time. When the sun reaches 11.45 degrees, then and the moon is opposite. So let's go a few days ahead. So we're going to go ahead, and we got 11, 11:17, 11:15. I'm looking at the sun there, and we got it. Whoops, gone too far forward. 11:20. So then I want to go minutes forward. This is a beautiful thing with looking at solar fire, because you can get it by minute. See here, I'm going minute by minute. It might take a moment to move, so maybe I'm going to go by, it's going to be, maybe I'll go by an hour. 11:24. So then go minutes, and once that hits 11, watch the sun in Leo, 2nd house, if you're following me. And you can see it moves. The moon takes 2.5 days to move through a sign, and the sun takes a year to go around the chart. So every planet's doing its own thing, so that you can see how slow this is, but this is just going by the minute. So when that gets to 11:45, in fact, I could do it quicker up here. Let's see. 45. Okay. All right. So basically, if we just imagine that what's going to happen, I'm just going to keep moving forward whilst I'm talking. So when we have this full moon, you know, we've got these squares going on, which is quite tricky for us at this time. And lockdowns have begun again in parts of the UK. So what we're going to have to do is really get to grips with dealing with our anger issues that may come up, and frustration, because a lot of people are having issues currently that, you know, they had plans and now their plans have just been thwarted. And COVID is not going away by the looks of it. It's going to be with us for the rest of this year. And clearly, you know, it's going to frustrating, and it can cause depression. It can cause all sorts of things being in this situation. That's as far as I go with that. But the moon and the sun will be the equal 11:45 and 11:45 degrees. And wherever that is for you, I want to actually see what house this falls in for. So for me, it's going to be in my 2nd house, which is to do with my values and my needs. And for wherever that falls for you, you really want to know, because it's going to reflect and color the following 2 weeks. So a full moon will, you know, the next few weeks ahead after a full moon are affected wherever it falls, whatever house it falls in. A house is an area of life. And then what we have also is that the new moon affects the entire month. So we can see that we've got a lot going on. And I'm just trying to see these squares. You see all of these in the center here? These are aspects. So these are the way the planets speak to each other. And all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, got it. 11:45. I really wanted to show you this, but I couldn't. Going ahead an hour just was not going to work here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Let's do it. Nearly there. Thank you for your patience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. 11:45. Okay. So when we can see that, this is what I wanted to show you. So what we've got going on here, the moon is going to be squaring Uranus. So Uranus is about breaking free of limitations. The moon is to do with our egocentric self and our, needs and, our emotions inside. It's to do with the archetype of Mother. It's the ruler of the sign of Cancer. We've got here Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, and that's breaking free of limitations. It's to do with trauma, to do with past life trauma, to do with imprints, and to do with long-term memory. But ultimately, it's breaking free of limitations. So this is really important to understand that, there's some tension going on here. It's also affecting the sun. It's going to be squaring the sun, and the sun, this is quite a hard aspect. And then we've got other, we've got the other squares going on here, and an opposition to Pluto, Mercury, the mind, our thinking in Cancer, where we're just feeling sensitive and emotional, with the Mercury in Cancer. The sun is in Leo, the moon will be in Aquarius, which is, we'll be better off in groups. We can be at this time because we're going to be feeling a lot as well, but there may be some breakthroughs, who knows, of something going on. It's, predictions with astrology, we can get the feel of it. So, and our Pluto this is to do with birth, death, transformation, Jupiter, truth, higher truth, religion, overseas, and education and spirituality, religion, and Saturn, which is to do with being restricted. So, when we've got these, and that's opposing, and then we've got all of this going on, there's a lot going on. And Mars, when it gets to 28 degrees, that's going to be going retrograde on the 9th of September, which is about just over 5 weeks away now. And we want to know where that's happening. That's happening in my 5th house. So do check out your chart. And if you want help to dig deeper and you want my help, then just book a session with me. Thanks for watching this, and I'll catch you later. I'll be back with something else over the weekend. Thank you.